Brian.
Hey, Anthony Gomes. Welcome to Rock Eyes, man.
Hey, thank you, brother. I love it. I love it.
Cool, 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 cool. Praise the loud. Today's the day.
Today it's the day, man. You got me on the best day possible, brother. It's great.
Cool, cool. The 25th Rat Pack Records releases the album today. And already I was reading reviews and stuff like that. So far, perfect. 9 out of 10. 10 out of 10. Even Amazon have you at number one.
Yeah. What can I say, man? This is just a wonderful thing. When you make an album, Brian, you never know how it's going to be received.
Right.
And we're just excited that people are really digging it.
It definitely is a fantastic album. I've been listening to it over and over. I even tell my wife, I picked out some songs. I go, listen to this guy, man. Listen, she's a churchgoer and stuff like that. And she loved it, you
That's
know?
nice, man. I'm a big fan of gospel music. So um, it, basically, I wanted to take my blues and turbocharge it with hard rock, heavy metal sounds, and gospel vibe. It's sort of like a weird mishmash, but I think it resonates.
Cool, cool, cool. I'm definitely a big fan. So, like, I'm like in awe right now,
Well,
telling all
thank
my
you,
friends,
man.
I can't believe I'm doing an interview with him and this stuff like that. And it's amazing, you know?
That's great. Hey, where are you? Where are you located in?
I'm in New Jersey, right next to New York.
Man, you Jersey guys love rock and roll. What is up with that?
We're,
Why are you?
it's in our blood, you know?
Yeah, man, I love it. I love it. That's
Cool,
wonderful.
cool, cool. Now, let's start with Primary Colors, which came out in 97, and you reissued it in 2008. Uh, what was the purpose behind reissuing?
Well, so Primary Colors was the first recordings I'd ever done, demos, and my first album was Blues and Technicolor. So
Right.
the idea was, hey, these were the primary colors, the very beginning, the foundation of the recordings that I had done up to that point, before the birth of my technical first album. So that was the thinking behind that.
Cool, cool, cool. Now, does it amaze you that like Billboard charts and other charts have you at number one and stuff like that? And now with this new album, it's going to be number one. No doubt in my mind.
Well, these are charts and reviews are just barometers for how well your album is being received.
Right.
Um, yeah, after a while, it's hard to believe that happens. But I think the strangest thing, Brian, is that I've been doing this for 25 years,
Right.
and most artists at my age are sort of slowing down. Um, I won't say that they're milking it, but you know, uh, and for us, it's the opposite. We're making the best artistic statements we've ever made, and our popularity is in the last 2 years just quadrupled.
Right.
So it's a weird thing. It's not the normal, you know. Most people don't start making it when they're 50,
Right. Yeah.
you know. So it's weird. It's weird. It's a weird thing, but I'm so grateful, and it took a long time to get here, and I think that really kept us humble, um, and appreciative of all
Right.
the
Yeah.
things that have happened.
Definitely. Now you have what, 14, 15 albums out and stuff like that. How come it took me so long to find out about you? I guess with all the videos and stuff like that, because I do a lot of research and like you really grown.
Thank you. That's funny. That's a question I get asked often on a daily basis. How come I'm just finding out about you? And I
Exactly.
go, yeah, how come? But no, I think seriously, it started right around COVID. People had more time to kind of search music, and people started to find out about us. And two friends told two friends, and all that happened. Also, too, our previous album, High Voltage Blues, that came out in 2022, that was a big jump for us as
Right.
far as people getting to know us. And I think what happened with that album is I've always loved John Lee Hooker
Mhm.
and Judas Priest,
Right.
right?
Yeah.
And but people always said, "Oh, you're too blues for rock, or you're too rock for blues." And I would sort of not express myself fully. And
Right.
on High Voltage Blues, I was like, you know what? I'm just gonna let this rip. I'm gonna crank my amps louder than they've ever been.
Hmm.
I'm gonna play a blues song and do two finger tapping, whatever,
Uh-huh.
man. Like I'm just go crazy. And people really dug it. And still today, people in the industry don't know where to put me because I don't fit into heavy metal and I don't fit into blues. But it doesn't matter because the fans are, it's resonating with the fans and they're digging it. And there's a lot of people that have that love Zakk Wylde and
Right.
love Stevie Ray Vaughan,
Right.
and I think that our music is appealing to those people.
Cool. Cool. And even with your videos, you can see the charisma and the time you put into each song and stuff like that. That the new song is amazing. The video and you can feel your energy right through the song.
Thank you, thank you. Stevie Ray Vaughan used to say, you have to play every gig like it's your last gig because you
Right.
never know what it is. And everybody in the band um, plays that way. Like we give it 100 million% every time, whether
Right.
it's doing a video. And truth be told, I just feel like the luckiest person, Brian, because I
Uh-huh.
get to do this. But I'm just a music nerd like anybody else. When we're done this interview, I'm going to go buy the new Ghost album. Like,
Oh,
I can't wait. You know what I mean? Like, I'm the idiot that buys the band's album if it comes out on two vinyl variants. I'm
right.
buying both of them. I'm streaming it. I'm buying the CD. Like I'm that. I'm the guy that waits 3 hours before the band
Uh-huh.
uh, they open the doors to get in early.
Right.
Like
Yeah.
I'm a music maniac, and that's a big music fan, and I just happen to be able to do this professionally, which is really a cool thing.
Cool, cool. Now, in your early days and stuff like that, like you said, you're in your 50s. I'm in my 60s. So, like back then, um, you like different, really classic type music back then. How'd you get straight to the blues instead of like regular classic rock?
Well, a classic rock led me to the blues.
Mhm.
So I was a big fan of, Jimi Hendrix and um, the Rolling Stones, and they'd always talk about Muddy Waters and Howlin' Wolf and BB King. And so one day I just got a BB King album. I
Mhm.
lived in the Toronto suburbs. So I
Yeah.
took two buses and the subway.
Uh,
I got a BB King album and I put it on the CD player, and that changed my life. I mean, I can still remember putting it on and listening to it, and my
uh,
teenage mind was blown
right.
because I, I understood Hendrix and Jimmy Page better because
Mhm.
of BB King. That's where they got it. And um, yeah, man, it was like finding home, and so important to me,
Right.
and for many years, it's been trying to find, what box I fit in. Is it the BB King box or is it the Led Zeppelin? And
Right.
now I've just go, no, it's all of them because these are my heroes, man.
Right. Yeah. Cool. Cool. You're doing a hell of a job, you
Well,
know?
I'm trying my best, Brian. I'm trying my best.
Yeah.
That's goes without a doubt. But yeah, thank you.
Cool, cool. Same thing with me. I worked for a metal magazine, but yet my roots are with the Four Tops and the Temptations. So like
Oh man,
like
Temptations, dude. Don't get me started on the Temptations.
so like
Yeah,
it's amazing. Tell me a little
yeah.
bit about Rat Pack Records. I know your last album was on that too, maybe even the one before that, but how they treat you?
This is our second album with Rat Pack Records, and they're a dream to work with.
Right,
We're the first act that the president approach to sign. Usually people solicit them, but I think he was listening to Gary Moore on a streaming thing or on YouTube, and they said, "Hey, if you like Gary Moore, check out, Anthony Gomes." So he did, and he said, "Wow, how come I've never heard of this guy?" And then so he called a few of his friends and said, "Have you ever heard of this guy?" And they said, "No." haven't heard of them. So he called me up and he said, "Hey, have you ever thought about, you know, marketing your style of music to the rock world?" And um, you know, we got on famously. We share a lot of the same love of albums and music, and they've been great. Um, very supportive. They've allowed us creative freedom to do what we want. They're, you know, the album will be done when it's done, Anthony. Just deliver the best one you can, you know.
Right.
They've been great. They've really believed in the album. They've made a lot of great things happen for us. And I don't think anybody does bundles better than Rat Pack Records, man. You can get a fan bundle that's got holographic stickers and keychains, and I mean, you know, crazy shirts, and you know, our fans are over the moon. And one of our fans collects everything from every band, and he's like, "This is the greatest bundle I've had since the Tool put some crazy thing out," you know.
Right.
So I mean, when you get feedback like that, um, it's just tremendous. So yeah, man, the label's great. They're very supportive. They believe in the act, and they do quality things, man. They go the extra mile for the fans too. You know, so I think it's a great label.
Yeah, I saw some of the bundles. You got like colored vinyls, and then you get the black vinyl and big packages. You know, so
Yeah,
there's a little bit for everybody. You
yeah.
know,
I mean, you can get the CD if you just want a CD for, you know, $13, or you can go out full out craziness for, you know, $80 or
right?
something,
Yeah,
and get, you know, a vinyl and a CD and a, you know, sticker set and guitar pick tin, and like
cool,
it's nuts, man. But yeah, they do a great job.
definitely. What guitar did you first learn on?
Well, my first guitar was an acoustic Yamaha,
Uh-huh.
and which was pretty cool. You know, I got it. My dad got me a guitar for my birthday, and then, you know, I was like, well, this is cool, but I want to rock out. So
Hmm.
my first electric guitar was an Ibanez Destroyer.
Uh-huh. Yeah, yeah,
Like,
yeah.
yeah, man, it had a whammy bar. It had three pickups. Uh, Phil Collin from Def Leppard, if you see him in like the
Yeah.
Pyromania
Hmm.
videos with that black guitar, that was the one that I had, man. I was the most rocking kid in the suburbs of Toronto, man.
Yeah.
You know, yeah. So, and, you know, from there I graduated to Fenders, Gibsons, you know, and that's basically what I play today: Fenders and Gibsons and some Gretches.
Cool, cool. Now, when you go to pick out a new guitar or something like that, what do you look for?
I look for a connection, right? Like every person is different, every instrument is different. And it's sort of like going out on a date. You know, you could be on a date with somebody that's a wonderful person, but it's not clicking,
Right.
or it's clicking great. It's the same with a guitar, you know. You pick it up and you usually know in 2 seconds, if it feels good. But I usually can tell, if it's hanging on a wall or something, I just strike the strings and I put my hand on the headstock. And if
Right.
I feel it vibrating, I
Uh-huh.
know it's a resonant instrument. So I'm
Right.
like, oh, okay. If it doesn't do that, I leave it up. If it's too heavy, I leave it up, you know. But if I feel the resonance and I pick it up and it's nice and light, then I play it, you know. And if it feels good playing those three things, all right, I'll take it.
That's
I'll
it.
take it. Yeah,
Cool.
luckily that doesn't happen too often.
Cool, cool, cool. Now, life on the road, is it everything you expected? Is it grueling and going town to town? Because you do a lot of shows.
Yeah, man, we do a lot of shows. How can I explain? The road is nothing how people think it is, right? I shouldn't probably say this, right? I should say, oh my gosh, man, the road is amazing. We sleep in all day. We go see the Eiffel Tower in
Uh-huh.
Paris. Um, all the best food you can eat. I mean, people are going crazy. You know, um, you have to love the music and the road to do it.
Right.
It's not, and you know, the older you get, touring is a young man's game, um, and it's grueling, man. The road is tough, and because, you know, just setting up takes a few hours. Then you got to play the gig. Then you got to tear down. Then, you know, you got to get to the gig, which if you're in Europe is not, it could be flights and two trains, and
Right. Yeah.
it's very, very grueling. Um, we have two things working in our favor. One is everybody in the band gets along great.
Mhm.
So, it's a great hang. We
Uh,
laugh, we joke, we have a good time. And two, and most importantly, we love the music and we
right.
love the people. And there's no greater feeling than playing for the people. And I think this year we're going to be in something like 15 countries.
Wow.
And it's just so cool. Music nerds and music maniacs
Uh-huh.
are the same all over the world. They may have an accent or speak a different language or,
Mhm.
um, you know, obviously live in a different place, but they're the same, man. Music has changed these people's lives, and it's just so wonderful to be in the company of these people.
Yeah, definitely, definitely. And what's your feelings on meet and greets?
Right now, we're lucky enough that we're not big enough that we have to do meet and greets. We make it a point to meet everybody at the merch table. You know, now our audiences are between 2 to 6, 700 people, depending on where we are. So we'll stay sometimes an hour to meet everybody.
Right.
But it's kind of getting to the point where that may have to change just
Right.
because um, we'll never leave, man. We'll be late for the next gig.
Yeah,
Um, and if that happens, then maybe we'll explore the idea of a meet and greet. But at least at this level, we'd like to meet everybody that's been there for us and shake their hand.
definitely.
Say thank you for coming to the show.
Cool. Now let's get to Praise the Loud. Um, let's go down a couple of tracks and stuff like that, and tell me a little bit about input into that song.
Okay.
Well, first we'll do probably my favorite song, "Meet My Maker." Okay,
Okay. Oh
that's
wow.
like
What?
that's my favorite song. And there's songs on here. Like I said, I get flashbacks to listen to songs because I'm a little older, and so I hear things, and to me, you guys sound like Bad Company.
Oh,
Like, and I feel that vibe with how the sound and everything is. But Meet My Maker, that's my song.
wow. Well, thank you. My favorite rock singer is Paul Rogers, and my favorite R&B singers are Otis Redding and Wilson Pickett, and those are probably Paul's favorite singers. So, I love early Rod Stewart before the spandex and Steve Marriott. So, there's a lot of that happening. Meet My Maker is a very different song on the album.
Right.
It's a song really about death
Mhm.
and our own mortality and trying to live life knowing that we're all going to die. I know it's a really dark thing, but when we die, what kind of life have we led?
Right.
What kind of people were we? And it's about meeting death without fear.
Mhm.
When the Grim Reaper comes knocking, I'm not going to cut and run. I'm not going to run away. I'm going to open the door and say, "Hey, what took you so long? Let's
Yeah.
go." Um, not just the idea of. I think for me, thinking about it, we're all a little afraid of the unknown,
Mhm.
and sometimes fear is not a good thing, and it makes us do things. We try to become immortal in some ways, and so there's a lot that's going on in the song. But I tried to channel you say Bad Company, and I can really hear that. I tried to channel, believe it or not, early Black Sabbath and Fleetwood Mac.
Uh-huh.
Um, and I wanted to create something that was a little ominous, um, and uh, and then have a gospel uplifting chorus. And the one cool thing about that is that guitar solo was the first take. Like
Right.
I wasn't even really warmed up or ready to go, and I'm like, okay, I'll play something. And I'm really proud of what was captured, the energy of the guitar. And And the vocal is very different. It's interesting because I didn't know if anybody would like that song.
Right.
And halfway through making the album, my manager and I produced the records. I'm like, I'm not feeling this. I think it sucks. So and he's like, okay, yeah, we'll work on other stuff. And then a month later, he's like, yeah, I think you should listen to this. It doesn't suck so bad. Okay, and then we worked on it a little bit more. Um, and people who love that song really love the song.
Yeah.
Um, and it's surprising to me because I love it, but it's not like a pop song. You know
Right.
what I mean? It's a very intense song and a deep cut maybe, but yeah, um, yeah. I'm so glad that you picked that song. Thanks,
Yeah.
Brian.
I love it. I love it. That's my favorite song.
And what can I ask you? What it is about it that you like?
I like the way you sung it and the lyrics and just the way the music was. It wasn't like really heavy, but it was like melodic in the sound and stuff like that, and I enjoyed it.
Well,
Yeah.
right on. Thank you, thank you.
Cool,
Well,
cool.
today's release day. I've been sitting on these songs for almost a year. I can't tell anybody they're done. You know what I
Right?
mean? And now, finally, today, the baby's born. So I'm like, what do you think? What do you think of the baby? Is the
Yeah,
baby cute? What?
yeah, yeah, yeah. Well, people love it because the reviews are great.
Yeah, thank you, thank you.
No. Let's go to the title track, "Praise the Loud." I watched an interview with you, or I think maybe on your channel, about what really you wanted the video to be like with a church and stuff like that. That was pretty cool. You know,
Yeah,
I enjoy
yeah.
that. You know,
Thanks, man. Yeah.
you know,
Yeah, to me, Jimi Hendrix used to say that his concerts were an electric church.
right,
And I've always felt there's such a spiritual thing between an artist and an audience at a
right,
show. And so Praise the Loud was sort of like, yeah, this is the congregation of music lovers. Let's
right,
go, man. Let's praise music. And music, is about love, really, at the end of the day. And the community, it's these people coming together because they love something, and they love this creation. Um, and all of that you could argue is inspired by a higher power, a beautiful thing.
right.
So yeah, man. And Praise the Loud was just also a mission statement for me for saying, I'm going to take the blues and I'm going to rock it up as heavy as I can, but it's still going to be the blues, but it's going to be on steroids.
Uh,
So that was sort of the feeling behind that song.
Definitely, and you give homage to Muddy Waters throughout the song and stuff like that. And the video, all the poses,
Yeah.
you know,
Oh, yeah, rock pose one, rock
yeah,
pose two,
yeah,
rock pose three. Yeah, we got.
you got to do the show,
Yeah,
got to do the show, you know. So let's get to when you slow things down a little bit with Netflix and Chill. Tell me a little bit
yeah.
about that song.
You know, so Brian, on these albums, I've read a couple. I call them stupid songs,
Uh-huh.
but they're not stupid. They're just like silly songs. This
Right,
is like Netflix and chill. That's a slang for come over to my house. We'll watch some Netflix and chill. But that usually means not really a lot of chilling is happening. Um, so yeah, I just tried to create it. It's got a ZZ Top, Van Halen sort of thing in the end.
right,
Um, I was really trying to put on my John Lee Hooker hat on that
right.
song.
Hmm.
And the thing about that is that it starts off real smooth, but the entirety of the song, it's building up intensity till the very end, which I think is a neat arrangement
Right.
thing that we tried to do on that.
Cool, cool. Now, Praise the Loud. Did you pick that song to be the single?
The label picked it, but they consulted us, and I thought it was a really cool, bold choice because it was one of the most rocking songs on the album.
Right,
Usually people put, the most commercial song out.
right,
But I thought, it takes let's go, man. Let's go. Let's hit them with a hammer.
right. Yeah,
there was nothing delicate about that as a first single. So, yeah, I mean, I trust the label's instincts, but we did talk about it, and management was involved, and um, yeah, they really like the title, they like the mission statement behind it,
Mhm.
um, and we're over 1 million views on YouTube
I
in
see that. Yeah.
5 weeks, so that's crazy.
Cool, cool, cool. Was that your favorite song?
I love and hate all the songs equally, um, because uh, you work so hard on them, and they can always be better. They can always be. Um, so it's like you almost never finish an album. You abandon it, and you go,
Right.
"Oh God, this is the best it can be. I can't do any better." Okay, I wish it was better. Um, but sometimes a little distance, uh, you appreciate it more. I will say I enjoy listening to this album more so than any other recording that I've done. Um, Probably because I worked harder on it to get it closer to how I felt like it sounded. Um, I These are all sort of like your kids, Brian, when you
Right.
make
Yeah.
an album, right? And they all have their own little thing. Um, so I'm more curious. Like I was very curious about what you thought, just because I'm too close to it. I don't
Right.
know. I can't listen to these songs for the first time. You
Right.
know,
Yeah.
when they're done, when they're finished, I've listened to them 10,000 times, and that's enough.
Cool, cool. Tell me a little bit about merchandising your product and your name and stuff like that. Seems like you're heavily into that. Do you have all hands on that stuff?
Um, well, Rat Pack did a great job on our pre-release, and they really took the lead on that. I mean,
Right.
yeah, I just said, cool. Yeah,
Yeah.
awesome. When it comes to our store and our branding, we have a little bit more input and control on that. Um, and Rat Pack was great for input too, but they just do such a good job. I told Joe, just do what you do, man. Do it. But yeah, we have a lot of stuff at our official store. Um, you know, beanies, baseball hats, whatever, shirts, long sleeves, hoodies, and yeah, we're pretty involved in it. One day would be great to have more input and more artists involved, and um, expand that. But yeah, that's for down the road. Yeah.
Cool, cool. On your merchandise and your in your store, will you be putting out more guitar picks? I only ask because I'm a collector. I bought every one of yours.
Yeah, man.
I bought every one. It said one
Oh my
left. I said,
god.
I got to get that one. I got to get
Yeah,
that one.
man. I love. Well, hold on. Let's see. Oh, today, I just pulled about here. I was, cleaning my house, cleaning, and I was like, oh, I found a bunch of guitar picks. Here's my George Lynch from Back for the Attack tour.
Cool. Uh-huh.
Um, let's see, Night Ranger.
They're a great band.
Yeah, man. Uh, Jimmy Buffett.
Cool. That's a collector item now.
I got this from the Guitar Tech. It's 100% legit. Eric Clapton from the Cradle Blues tour.
Wow.
Yeah. I love this. Buddy Guy,
Yeah. Cool.
go F yourself. um, yeah, let me see. What we got over here. Uh, Rich Fortis, Ben Lizzy,
Wow.
Reb Beach, Winger
Cool.
from back in the day.
So you're a pick collector.
Oh yeah, Steve Vai from the White Snake tour,
Wow.
Real Deal One. Robert Cray, love
Cool.
Robert Cray. Yeah, man. The Rick Nielsen, he only throws out 50 billion of these.
Yeah,
Kenny Wayne Shepherd, we opened up for Kenny one time.
cool.
My dear friend Rick Emmett from Triumph.
That's good. That's good.
Yeah, man. Let me see. And I got a ton more, but I'll share this one with you. Front row for Badlands with
Wow.
J.P. Lee.
You know, that's an expensive pick.
Really?
I get my collection right now is about 9,000 picks. Okay.
God, man, what are you killing me, man?
9,000. That's one of the most collectible picks you have. It's Young Guns.
Really?
Look on the back of the pick. It says Young Guns.
Yeah, it does.
Yeah, that's not a cheap pick.
What does, not that I would ever part with it, but what does something like that go for?
I would say a couple hundred, but not
Damn.
as much as your pick.
Really?
Your pick, I bought so far 4 picks off your site. I bought the last one that was a 3-pick set that are sold out now.
Right.
Okay. The one before that was a white pick with like colors on it and stuff, and it says Anthony Gomes on it. If you go on eBay right now, your head will pop. $500.
What?
After this, go on eBay.
What a ripoff, man. What a ripoff.
I don't know, but I got it.
Oh, yeah. My man. My man.
You know, so
Well, I
put
think
up.
because there were only like 100 or 20 of those made or something, you know.
Yeah,
So yeah, it's super rare. Wow.
yeah. Check on eBay later on today or something when you got nothing to do. Look at Anthony Gomes guitar pick, and just hit the most expensive $500 for that pick.
Damn. That
You
was
know,
probably more than the gig paid at the time.
amazing. It's amazing. So after everything settles down and stuff like that, what are your hopes for this album?
Well, you know, world domination. No,
Yes, I think you
you
know it.
know, yeah, I feel like it's an album that will have a lot of legs, that will appeal, that will have some good appeal. So now the time is just going out there and spreading the word and playing gigs and building the fan base and using the songs from this album to do that. I sincerely hope that everybody really loves the album, you know. And yeah, you know, a good friend of mine was a producer named Jim Gaines, and he produced a couple of our records, and Stevie Ray Vaughan and some awesome people. And he always said, you know, your goal should be that your new record was better than your last,
Right.
and that you go to another level, and then you do another record, and that record is better than the previous one, and you go to another level, you know, sort of building blocks.
Right. Yeah.
So my hope for this album is that it propels us to the next place.
Right. Yeah. Cool.
And hopefully that place is up, you know.
Cool. Praise the Loud release date today. You could you can't pre-order it because it's out. So
Yeah.
you know, go to his site, go to Rat Pack, pick it up, and watch the video. You'll love it. You know, I mean, this is a real pleasure for me to talk to you and as a fan. And congratulations. Would you like to say anything to the fans out there?
Yeah, man. I'd like to thank them for their incredible support. 1 million views in 5 weeks on Praise the Loud video. Today we will hit 500,000 views on True That in 2 weeks. This is mind blowing. We're #1 on Amazon and new releases. You know, thank you for making our dreams come true and allowing us the privilege of making music for you. So thank you. And to you, Brian, thanks for having me on. Thanks for celebrating the release date with us. And we got to get to Jersey and play for you, man.
Yes,
Let's
definitely.
What's taking us so long? Let's go. We got to get to Jersey. Because I will say we played there once this past year. And I was like, what is up with what's in the water in New Jersey, man?
Yeah.
They must put it with rock and roll juice or something. You guys are amazing. I love New Jersey. You guys know your rock and roll.
Definitely. Congratulations, man.
Thank you, Brian. Appreciate it. And all the best to you, man.
Talk to you later, man. Bye-bye.
Okay, thanks. Bye now.